Well, if you want something fast and you've got some cash to splash, then all three contenders for our best performance car over $60,000 hail from Germany. Defending its crown is the monstrous AMG E63 S, and challenging it head-on is its arch-enemy, the BMW M5, here in full house competition spec. And coming from left field is the Audi RS5. So let's see which one of these three powers to our top spot this year.
Apart from their Teutonic origins, all three of our finalists share some other key attributes. They are all driven by powerful turbocharged engines that generate huge reserves of grunt and need the traction of an all-wheel drive transmission to produce supercar levels of acceleration. But neither of this trio is a one-trick pony, as they're intended to be both fast and luxurious in equal measures. To fulfill that Jekyll and Hyde duality and character, they're loaded with the latest in technology in the areas of safety, connectivity and convenience. So, to find out which is the best performance car over $60,000 in the 2018 Drive Car of the Year Awards presented by BP, our expert panel of judges put them through their paces in a week-long testing process, assessing them individually against a strict set of criteria. The Audi RS5 Coupe kicks off its challenge with a significant head start as the most affordable car, costing from $156,600 plus on-roads in standard form, although our test example had 15 grand's worth of optional extras. It is also the only one here with a V6 engine, a 2.9 litre unit that is boosted by twin turbochargers to produce 331 kilowatts of power and 600 newton meters of torque. While those figures are no match for the bigger V8s and its rivals, it is the lightest and most efficient of this trio.
The RS5 does things a little bit differently to the M5 and the E63. It's one of the most stylish cars in the group. It's a sleek, suave coupe with an absolutely gorgeous interior, but it backs that up with real performance from a twin-turbo V6 engine linked to an all-wheel drive system. It's grippy, it's quick, and it's really engaging on the road.
The judges praised the RS5's svelte design and its beautiful cabin, and some highlighted its fleet-footed ability to slink over patchy surfaces comfortably, even on 20-inch tyres. On the other side of the driving coin, the judges couldn't fault the RS5's ability to attack corners with outstanding levels of grip, but ultimately it is neither as fast or as flexible as the monstrous sedans, and it finished third on 13 points. The Mercedes-AMG E63 S is at the other end of the price spectrum as the most expensive of our finalists, costing from $239,529 plus on-roads as standard, with our test car fitted with the optional ceramic brakes that add a further 10 grand to its price tag. It slots in the middle though in terms of engine capacity, power output and fuel economy, with its 4-litre twin-turbo V8 generating 450 kilowatts of power and consuming an average of 9.3 litres per 100 k's. Despite that, it was the quickest, with our data recording software confirming it runs 0 to 100 k's an hour in 3.2 seconds. That is derived because it definitely talks the talk, as the E63 has the most pulling power of this trio, producing an earth-twisting, tyre-frying 850 newton meters. It also nails the V8 muscle car formula with a hairy-chested soundtrack that snarls, barks and braps depending on how you treat it.
The E63 looks like a bodybuilder in a suit, but when you have a go at it, it's just such a fun, playful, childlike car. The things you can do in that car are incredibly illegal and I love it.
As it did on its way to winning this class last year, the E63 had some of the judges in tears of laughter at the end of their drive, while others alighted from its high-tech cabin with a serious case of white-knuckle fever. This is a car that is fearsomely fast, and its manic character is only mildly sedated by its four-wheel drive system, as the back end can easily step out under heavy acceleration. For those brave enough, its full fury can be released in two-wheel drive mode. And I mean brave, because this thing will rip your head off if you're not quick enough. Switching it into drift mode is like stepping into a lion's cage with a ribeye steak in each hand. At the end of it all, you certainly know you've survived. But there is a trade-off for its epic performance, as our recording data confirmed it is the noisiest car at cruising speeds. Some judges also made comment that its unique automatic transmission featuring a clutch pack rather than a torque converter was also a little harsh around town. And several judges felt its initial ride comfort was too brittle to live with comfortably on Australia's patchwork of roads. Still, it made two of the judges smile so hard they voted it first, but the E63 also intimidated just as many who nominated it third, leaving it to drop onto the second step of the podium with 14 points. And that obviously leaves its arch rival, the BMW M5, as the best performance car over $60,000 for 2018. Tested here in the full house competition specification that launches just 6 months after the regular model, it continues its long-running head-to-head battle with the AMG E63 by largely following the same formula.
The M5 does the livable supercar formula really, really well. Being based on the 5 Series, there's plenty of space. And I love these new competition spec seats. They look like they're out of Battlestar Galactica, but they're also comfy and supportive. And of course, the M5 comes with all the luxuries and goodies you'd expect for a car of this caliber. There's plenty of information in the infotainment system, there's digital dash, and I love these red toggles on the competition pack. It makes you feel like you're in something special. It also does that same thing out on the road. This car is supremely comfortable as a muscle car. It divided opinions in terms of the judges though. Some thought its ride was really sharp, some thought it actually had a broader skill set than the E63, offering more comfort and quietness for everyday driving and still that same level of performance when you really want to get up it for the rent. It certainly isn't as angry and as monstrous as that E63, a little bit more refined, but also a little bit more digital, and with that a little bit more aloof. But you certainly don't miss out on that whole muscle car experience because this thing has plenty of poke.
Behind its subtly toned 4-door sedan body resides a genuine superhero, driven by a 4.4 litre twin-turbo V8 that produces 460 kilowatts of power, while its 750 newton meters of torque is channeled through an all-wheel drive transmission via an 8-speed automatic gearbox. It's almost as quick as the E63 in a straight line, clocking the 0 to 100k marker in 3.3 seconds, and a little thirstier out on the open road, but not by very much. What's a tenth of a second and a litre or two of fuel every hour when it's $10,000 more affordable anyway? But the BMW impressed the judges more in how it drives rather than just by its numbers.
That engine is super refined, relaxed and effortless whenever you want it to be. But then you just click any of these buttons and it all amplifies itself. The steering, the suspension, the engine, and it gets more manic with every stage. Don't get me wrong, this isn't a limousine and it isn't a sports car at the other end of the business. It's somewhere in between, something you could live with for every day of the week, drive to the shops, to the golf club, to the corporate car park, and look like you're swinging the biggest club in town. And then when you want to hit the ball, whew, this thing's got some go. The engine, it does sound a little bit digital, like it's got synthesized soundtrack, which makes it sound like it's all coming from here rather than the exhaust. It does have a fairly natural crackle and pop on the overrun, and it sounds brilliant from the outside. It's not quite science fiction, but it does introduce a layer of, well, removal from reality, so to speak.
At the end of it all, this was the closest fought contest amongst the 14 categories, with the judges hugely divided on their nominations. Each of these cars scored multiple first place nominations in the final process, and each of them also placed third amongst a couple of judges. Put simply, there are no losers here.
That there was only 2 points separating this field proves that the M5 is not perfect, and its challenges were pretty damn competitive. Whichever one of these cars you pick, you are getting a brilliant German-built sports car of epic proportions.
But there can only be one winner, and that is the BMW M5 Competition.